Alrighty. Let's check this out, shall we? Hello. Let's see if this thing is working. Okay. What's up? What's up, Overboard? How's it going? How is it going? I am seeing if everything is all honky-dory on my end for this stream as I set up some things. You know, I've had this background for a little while. I'm going to change this background. I think we're due for something else here. What's a fun one? Let's go with everything sounds good. That's great. Now the real problem is I got to make everything look good, and unfortunately, that requires a bit more effort. You know, it's Kraken week. I did not participate in Kraken week, but hey, you know, that's that. Yeah, look at that. Boom, a two-headed shark. Let's go. Man, my shirt's a little invisible there. Feel a little bit empty. Oh well. Okay. Let us take a look around you. Thought I just heard, like, some plates crash like I'm in a restaurant or something. No Kraken, no problem. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to talk about this a little bit, but over 100 D&D YouTubers got themselves involved in the Kraken week. Let me take a look. Ginny D actually posted up a playlist of everyone involved in it. But I, myself, just didn't get around to it. I was busy with other things in my life and didn't get around to pumping out that Ginny D, or not the Ginny D, but the Kraken week content. Unfortunate. Yeah, she's got 101 videos in this playlist. And I'd have to... No, actually, now that I'm looking, there's actually a multiples. There's some people did multiple videos, so maybe it wasn't 100 DMs, but... Let me see if I can. I'll post the link here. Loop playlist, shuffle playlist. Is there a share playlist? I don't freaking know. But yeah. So basically, Ginny D. Finally able to make it a stream. It's been a while. How's it going, AD&D Cardmaster? Yeah. So a whole bunch of Ginny D and a whole bunch of other YouTube content creators put out a thing of, hey, let's make a week-long thing of pumping out C content. And so a bunch of them did. I'm looking through. There's Pointy Hat, Ginny D, D4, Runesmith, Dungeon Dudes, Corkboards and Curiosities, and the list goes on and on. Bob Builder, Triam Monk, Cleric Corner, Pack Tactics, Indestructible Boy. A bunch of people that I have interacted with in some way, shape, or form, and many others I haven't even interacted with because I can't interact with 100 different YouTubers. There's just way too many. But they all set out to put out undersea content, or I guess just water content, for this week. And unfortunately, I didn't get around to doing it. I don't know. There's just a slight mishap on my end. Just too many things going on. Lazy DM, it's been fun, actually. Also, seen some new people, too. Always willing to hear what they have to say, sir. Heck yeah. What up, Ironcaster? What up? So, I guess this is my Kraken week content here, is putting up a little shark with 2 heads, and, that's my undersea content. Just got a copy of Teagle Manor. Heck yeah, I myself also have a copy of Teagle Manor. There is a lot of fascinating nuance to looking at how the game originally was envisioned versus how it was actually played versus how it is today. And Teagle Manor, I'm actually going to go grab it because I love flipping through it. So let me grab that real quick. Here we go. Do you know if Rogue Watson was invited? I don't know if Rogue Watson was invited. I genuinely don't know. I don't think he's interacted with any other D&D YouTuber. So here it is, Teagle Manor, one of the classic adventures. It is one of the first adventures written for the game of Dungeons and Dragons. But mind you, something very important to note is D&D went through a strange set of circumstances when it was being born. And, for example, is looking through immediately in this Teagle Manor thing, is that, let's look at the stat lines of characters. Characters have class, alignment, level, HTK. HTK is hit to kill. It is basically a rudimentary HP, but they called it hit to kill. AC, and then, of course, it was descending AC. There was SL, which I am totally blanking off the top of my head which one SL is. There's S, I, W, Con, Dex, Charisma, and Weapon. Movement was measured in inches back in old school play. And, of course, you died at 0 HP. And there wasn't too much going on. Actually, it's really funny. Looking through the classes here, we have a fighter, cleric, Amazon, dwarf. So Amazon was some sort of class in this rudimentary system. I don't know exactly which version of the game this was made for. I'll have to look, but very interesting. I see fish monsters under that 2-headed shark. You're on theme, good sir. Heck yeah. Was thinking about Tolus. What do you think about that book? It's 50% off. I have not interacted with Tolus at all whatsoever. I've got no idea what it is. I got Frog God Games release. The fact that it was relevant to the creation of Castlevania fascinates me. Yeah, Castlevania definitely. I know for a fact that one of the creators said that they got inspired by a D&D campaign. And looking through this, I'll just go ahead and show you a brief thing here. Is when you open up a 5e adventure module, when you go to an area, you see that there's this big old 5-sentence text blurb of how the room is described, and then it goes through all the relevant information of, oh, the room is lit this way, and it's this big, and there's this monster, and there's this trap. That's not the case here. So, immediately looking through here, I'll just point you to area C2 here as I hold this thing up, if it can hold it up well. But there is an incredible small amount of information here in this book. And that's kind of a good thing. Looking here at C2, it is a 30 by 30 by 20 purple drape animates to suffocate In 4 to 24 rounds, unless outside party shreds it, 10 hit to kill, AC 9. Right? This doesn't need, like, Adventures didn't need to tell you, okay, the animated rug makes an attack at this distance, and it does this, and your players can do this and that. It doesn't tell you those things. All it says is that there's a drape that's going to animate to suffocate, and it's going to suffocate someone in 4 to 24 rounds, which implies 46, right? 6, 12, 18, 24. Yeah, so in 4d6 rounds, someone's going to get suffocated by the purple drapes unless someone outside does 10 damage to the drapes. Like that's fantastic. Like, you don't need to bore your players with a whole bunch of stuff. You can fill in whatever it is you need to fill, but just having relevant information there is fantastic. And so, like, having that is just great. Like, looking through another one. Dust-covered bones. 210 GP necklace on skeleton. Vanity has necklace of strangulation. 2 to 5 turns unless wish. You literally, in this room, there's dust-covered bones, and there's a necklace on the skeleton, and you think to yourself, oh man, that's awesome. Get that. But then you see that there's also another necklace in that room on the vanity, and you're like, oh man, that's great. You put that thing on, unfortunately, in 1d4 plus 1 rounds, you are going to die unless you have the wish, which probably not very likely. Let's be real. It looks like the front page layout is in the chainmail format. It might be. Let me take a look here. All rights reserved. Is there anything about what it's used for? Charms. Anything in the back here? I'm gonna have to Google it. Let's take a look. Teagle Manor, what system does it use? Well, I pull it up and immediately I get the new, like, Fraud God Games version that's for Swords and Wizardry. But what was it originally used for? It might be for chainmail. I genuinely don't know. Teagle Manor. I'll just Google Teagle Manor. Maybe it's got like a Wikipedia thing. Adventure. Teagle Manor is a 1977 fantasy role-playing game adventure published by Judges Guild. It included one of the first published dungeons in a role-playing game and was the first available to Judges Guild. Cumulative reception. It doesn't say what it's for, though. Interesting. I guess I had to do a bit more of a deep dive on this thing. It was a Judges Guild product, but like I didn't know that. Interesting. Yeah, this is fascinating. I think that if you are going for like a spooky, like, castle area thing, then this is definitely worth a look. However, be disappointed in the fact that this does not hold up today's day and age. This is definitely you move to room A and there's 5 orcs. You move to room B and there's 5 skeletons. You move to room C and then there's 2 trolls. It's definitely got that vibe of there is a lack of verisimilitude in that regard. However, that being said, there is some more verisimilitude in the fact that it definitely feels like a spooky place. Was it made for a con event? There's no way this was made for a con event. This is way too big. I cannot imagine a con being able to run this thing. Like, Teagle Manor is massive, mind you. Like, let me see. Can I even count how many rooms there are? So, there's 22 plus 5 plus 19 plus 15 plus 14 plus 15 plus 7 plus not even 9, 11 plus 15, and like there's just no way this was used for a con. Way too big. Like every con adventure 250 according to the remake. That wouldn't surprise me. I'd have to sit there and actually systematically count, because this does not, for reference sake, it does not say, areas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What it is areas A 1 through 11, areas B 1 through 6, area C 1 through etc. So there's no like 1 through 100 count here. Could have been made with the assumption no random group of people con would survive more than 3 hours. That actually might be true. I'm trying to remember every con module I've ever read from early D&D, and I feel like the majority of them have been relatively smaller in nature, except for Ghost Tower of Inverness. That thing is huge. Ghost Tower of Inverness is definitely a massive one for a con game. Like that one definitely is ridiculous. Trying to remember anything else. I don't know. But regardless, Teagle Manor, excellent stuff. I definitely borrow inspiration from it. The fact that I was able to grab it relatively easily is pretty great. It is an absolute eyesore to sift through all of the text, though, because the text is horrendous. I'm looking at the original. I don't know about Frog God Games version. I would have to take a look at that. But there's some fun stuff in here. Like I just said, with the classic drapes that choke you in 4d6 rounds. Like you would never do that in modern games. You definitely have it choke you a lot quicker. Ghost Tower gives PTSD flashback. Ghost Tower is like pretty redonkulous for a con game, I will say. So yeah, what's been going on is in the D&D YouTube realm is there's been that Kraken week, which I did not participate in because I just quite frankly just didn't get around to it, which is unfortunate. Could have interacted with some of my YouTube compatriots, but just didn't get around to it. What else is, of course, my West Marches game. So if you haven't already joined, please join the Discord and hop in on some games, because that will be coming up soon. It'll be coming up. I'm running my first game on Monday. So that is going to be awesome. All of the relevant information is in the Discord, of course. That'll be a fun time, and I will be talking about those games that I'll be running. I am hopefully going to be getting a lot of people in. But mind you, I'll be making a video about the game, and hopefully when I put out that video out, that'll get a lot more eyes on it, because live streams only get so many eyes on them, but videos get a little bit more. So I'm really hoping to get a solid crowd. For every single game that I run, I want anywhere between 2 to 6 players, romping through the dungeon and exploring and getting gold and doing all that fun jazz. I'm really looking forward to running West Marches again. It's been a little bit, but every time I run to West Marches, it's always a good time. Ugh. Alrighty, so what's on the docket today? So on the stream, I can't work on anything that involves the good old fashioned what do you call that thing? The whatchamacallit? The thingamajig. I can't work on anything that involves the West Marches game because I don't want to have spoilers lingering around outside. So let's take a look here at some other content I can work on. Is your West Marches only having one GM? That is correct. So if I were to hop in some other people's West Marches, I would totally be down to co-DM. But specifically for this adventure that I'm running, I am very anal about it. And I mean that in the most derogatory way possible against myself. I definitely want the theme, the tone, the setting, the feel, and everything to be congruent. I want absolutely everything to align. And the only way for me to get that is by running the game by myself. And also for me, it's just very like if I were to run a West Marches with multiple DMs, if it was my creation, I would be the head DM, and I would require all of the DMs to operate under standard operating procedures in regards of how they run the game, certain rulings, and of course, like reporting all of what the players do. But for this one, I'm it's a much, I'm not gonna say smaller West Marches in scale, but it's definitely more like close and compact. And I want the players to interact with each other more, and I think just me being the one DM is going to be good enough. How long do you expect it to take for the first PC to die? 5 rooms, less? So the fun thing is this is a Hex March slash dungeon crawling mega dungeon. So this is not a like, oh, you start in room 1 and then you move to room 2, room 3, room 4. No, it is very much so you're in this huge underground area and you explore around this huge underground area. Obviously, there is going to be dungeons. Spoiler alert. There is going to be dungeons in this area, and maybe those will have many rooms, and maybe you'll die in 5 rooms or less. But the thing to consider is that is your prerogative. If you want to spend the whole session exploring, mapping out the area, if you want to go and secure this one location you guys have seen before, if you want to follow up on a quest that the guild is publishing out, if you want to go and go on that monster hunt, if you want to go and clear out that dungeon someone's discovered, there's so many different options every single session of where you guys are going to go, what you guys are going to do, that I absolutely have no idea what's going to happen. So I don't know if a PC is going to die in the first 5 rooms or less. I don't know if the group is going to explore all around the area and have no one die. I've got no idea. That being said, something very important is, I've talked about this before, I am very much so playing a referee for this campaign. I am not for the players, but very importantly, I am not against the players. Every single thing that you guys earn will be earned through you. And that goes for the good and the bad. If you earn gold and glory, then you earned it. That's fair and square. But if you earn PC's deaths and horrific, injuries and whatever else, then you earn that yourself, right? I am going to play as the dice where they land. I will be fair and impartial. I'm truly going to be a referee. I'm not going to be a dungeon master. I'm going to arbitrate the rules and play everything as it is. I like that. It means the games will be consistent with rules and gameplay. Yeah, like I said, if I were to like have multiple DMs under me, I would have like an absolute like standard list of procedures of you will run this scenario this way, this way, this way. Follows examples A, B, and C. And then, of course, I'd keep it as consistent as possible and make sure that everything's on the up and up. But with just me as the DM for this one, it's going to be relatively simple. Although something I do want to show off is, let's take a look here. Take a look at this book. Yeah, let's just quickly show this off a little here. As I pull that, nope, wrong one. Window. Look at that, 16 players. Look at that. I've got 16 players showing up to this game already. 16 players who have accepted that link. That's already pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Getting that many people to at least say that they'll be participating in a game. That's pretty dope. I'm hoping that'll be more soon after I publish that video though. I'm hoping that to be the case. Alrighty, I found something that I probably want to spend a little bit of time working on here. Let me go ahead and adjust this, and then adjust me. Where's me? There's me. My games handout tab. Oh, guild agendas. Are the guild leaders going to be handing those down, or is it up to the players to figure out what the guild should be doing? So, in the beginning of this game, there will be these guild leaders, NPCs, and they will tout out, tasks and rulings and how you should go about your business and whatnot. But eventually, I do want it to be where you guys, where the prominent people of the individual guilds do become the guild leaders. It's just that in the beginning, that responsibility will be on the NPCs. It's funny. I've ran multiple West Marches now, and I've dabbled over time with players, player rulings and players just like having this autonomy to do whatever. In the last one I ran, it worked well up until we hit some snags, and I've already dealt with how to. I've already in this game that I'm running now, I've already figured out how to stop some of those snags. And very much so, I want there to be more. Like I eventually, in the beginning, you guys are all losers. You're all just showing up. You're level 1 adventurers. You guys are losers. But over the course of the gameplay, as you get gold and XP, you level up, you advance through the guild. Eventually, I do want you to have like that autonomy of, oh hey, I'm this veteran guild member. I've got all these guildies under me. Let's figure things out. Let's figure out how we're going to conquer the dungeon. Let's figure out what we want to do as a guild as a whole. Let's figure out how to work with the other guilds and deal with like both two guilds want this one specific piece of property, or the two guilds want to deal with this monster. How are we going to handle that out? And I want the players to really be in charge of that sense of community and roleplay. I think that'll be great. Alrighty, so let me take a look here. This is something that I've worked on for a really long time here in regards of player handout here. Is whenever I show up to run a game, I look at this list here of all the games that I'm going to be running, and think to myself, oh, what am I going to be doing here? And this is going to be expanded on a bit more. I'm probably going to maybe add like another tab somewhere. Maybe I'll add a bit more information here. I'll change up the systems as I fall in and out of love of certain systems. But this is just a great way to show to my players, hey, this let me take a look here at some of the games I'm going to be running here. And so I've got a bunch down in here. I've got a whopping bejesus ton. But I feel like I added some semi-recently, and I didn't expand upon them. So I think it's time I go through and maybe clean some of them up. So for the individual listings, I always have the title. I've got the first paragraph, which is more in lore, and then the second paragraph, which is more explaining what the campaign's going to be feeling about, character requirements, and game expectancy. And then a little image. I think this is a great way to get players to figure out, oh, maybe I want to play this kind of campaign, maybe I want to play that kind of campaign. And shipwreck, hawk through the paranoia. I feel like I added something semi recently. It's probably at the bottom of the list though. Lancer, Baldur's Gate, Wandering Isle, Tomb of Annihilation, my baby, my pride and joy. I love Tomb of Annihilation. Next time I run Tomb of Annihilation, I'm going to be using an old school. I'm going to be using old school. Because I've ran it now multiple times in 5e, but I want to run it old school. I think it'd be really interesting to see the difference of, 5e versus old school. Because whenever I run it 5e, it's deadly enough. Like, I kill many a PC with it. So it's not nothing to sniff about. Let's take a look. Tomb of Annihilation, Dead Planet, Frostman, Barrel Maze, Pendragon, DCC, Forbidden Lands, Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Wild Beyond the Witchlight, it's just a nice, cute little romp. I'll run that for my kids someday. If I ever have kids. way down in Little Hope, this is the one that we're going to be running here. Classic Hex Crawl Mega Dungeon campaign. But instead of running it for just an individual group, like I would normally for this list here, I'm obviously changing it up to be a West Marches game to incorporate everybody. Land of Eam. I do want to play some Land of Eam. Land of Eam's cute. Highfell, Mouse Ritter, Slay the Beast. Let's make this bigger. Oh, here we go. There we go. That's what I was thinking about. Forgotten Gods of the North. I feel like I just got, what in the world? What the heck is going on here? Really, really strange. Someone subscribed to me, and they have more subscribers than they have views on their channel. Which I genuinely do not understand how that is possible. Like, the only things I can think of are people subscribed without watching any of the videos. Like, mind you, they could have bought it. That's obviously one of the things. So I feel like they either one, just people subscribed without even watching any videos, or two, they're famous from somewhere else and directed people to their YouTube channel. Like, that's really weird. It's like really, really weird. I don't get it. Alrighty, so Forgotten Gods of the North here. Do I really want to work on this right now? I don't think I'm gonna work on this right now. I'll work on that later. I've got plenty of other things to work on. I've got plenty of other things. I've already got, how many, I don't even know how many other, is there a way to count tiles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. I've already got 48 listings on here. I don't think I need to worry about updating that anytime soon. I haven't made any videos in a long time, lol. I still get occasional subs. Yeah, I mean, like when I was on my hiatus, I actually got a lot of subscribers. Like, I'm curious about that now, because I didn't really check up too much for a really long time. Analytics. I want to do like the past year. Freaking past 365 days. So in the past 365 days, I barely posted any videos. So I've only been posting for like the past month now. But in that span of time, I got 2,400 subs. Golly, a bunch of people were subscribing to me when I wasn't even making videos. That's pretty crazy. That is pretty weird. The thing about my channel, though, is my channel is really stacked in an odd way. So when you look at a lot of other D&D YouTubers, a lot of D&D YouTubers post up 10 to 15 minute videos, and they'll have a high view count, but because the videos are so short, you know, they only get however many views or watch time. My channel is weird in that I have a lot of 30-minute videos because my my guide series on all the adventure modules are typically 30 minutes. And a lot of people put those on and they put them on in the background. So my watch time is massive. Like my watch time is like way bigger than what is the average of like my views and subscriber count, this and that. Like my watch time is ginormous. But it's all, you know, concentrated on, of course, you know, these adventure modules, and you know, it's pretty funny. Same. I was one of them. You came back like 2 or 3 weeks after I started watching Strahd. That's funny. That's funny. I need to. I really wish I could like piggyback off of Wizard of the Coast and figure out like when are people beginning new like adventure module plays, because there's like no data I can really find anywhere. The only data I found was Wizard of the Coast suspects that 50% of DMs use adventure modules, and that's a lot of people. Like 50% is an incredible amount of people using adventure modules. And my guide series is just, you know, one of like there's like off the top of my head there's like 5 other DMs who did kind of what I did. It's just that I did it for, you know, an egregiously long time. I pumped out, you know, 30 videos on, you know, one module, 50 videos on another module. Like, not many other people did what I did. But I really want to know. There's so many questions I would ask everyone that runs adventure modules. Like, what made you want to run adventure modules in the first place? What are you looking for when it comes to adventure modules? What do you like about the adventure modules you've ran before? What do you not like about them? Like, there's a bunch of questions I really need answered that I'm never going to get answered in a large scale because because I'm a small fish in this large pond. And I really want to know these things because I want Wizard of the Coast to be better. I want to make my own adventure modules, and you know, I really want players. I want to know what makes the players tick, right? I want to know why. I just want to know why. I just want to know why. And you know, I'm looking through right now, and between, you know, Curse of Strahd, my Curse of Strahd guide series has a monstrous amount of views, and that right there tells me that there's a bunch of people that want, you know, something in addition to whatever the adventure gives you, right? People want either suggestions, or people want clarification, or people want just a voice in the background so they don't have to read it. There's a bunch of things that people want, like that's clearly indicated to me, and I just wish I could just figure out more. Actually, one of the Curse Shroud videos blew up. Golly, the part 1 of the series, which is it's not even technically the part 1. The Village of Barovia chapter just shot up a bejesus ton semi recently. There must be a bunch of DMs who are starting to run this adventure. There must be, because like it got a bunch of views in the past like 3 months. Really weird. Like, was there some sort of like sale going on with Curse of Strahd? Was there some sort of like news about Strahd? Like, what is going on here? Why is everyone running Strahd again all of a sudden? To this day, though, my best video is the Tomb of Annihilation one, which is ridiculous, I believe. It sucked because my quality was bad. I didn't know how to talk in front of the camera. The audio sucked. I didn't know how to edit. Such a shame that one of my high performing things is low quality. Is what it is, though. You gotta suck it up. You don't get to choose what you're known for. That's just the cold nature of the world. So what the heck's going on, everyone? So Steam sale is going on. Has anyone purchased anything on the Steam sale yet, or have they wish listed anything? I'm curious. When it came about, Adventure module is convenient in some cases because a lot of the prep time is cut in half. What I don't like about Adventure modules is sometimes it feels like the adventure can railroad the adventures. Like Strahd, for example, I remember back in the day, everyone complained about the fog at the start of the adventure. I feel like every adventure needs a railroad at the beginning of the game. Like I know for a fact there are some players who, if you told them, okay, adventurers, you all meet up at a tavern, like they may think, like there might be some players out there who say, oh, I don't want to start in a tavern. Like, there might be some players that are against that. The beginning of the adventure is all about getting them to the place of adventure and then allowing them to explore, allowing them that freedom. But you got to direct them there. Bought too much. Megaton Miyashi is a mecha game. Megaton Miyashi. Oh, Musashi, I see. Okay, okay. Oh my sweet lord, there is $115 worth of DLC in that game. Goodness gracious. I doubt it's like, there's obviously just a bejesus ton of like 99-cent ones. Like Victory Pose is, big deal. But golly. I personally have not bought anything yet. I have some things in my cart just sitting there. I'm getting ready, but haven't pulled the trigger yet. Error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming? What the heck does that even mean? You're not receiving enough video. Like, I don't even know what that like technically means. Not receiving enough video. What the shit? I bought from Card Packs from Card Hunter event on Steam. It was only $5, and the game is free to play and install. Card Hunter. Just make more video, obviously. Just download more video. Check out Mass Builder for another great mecha game. Mass Builder. So I'll check out Mass Builder, and then I'll check out the Card Hunter. Customize and build mechanical assault skeleton suits and lead the fight against the aliens. Is this a action RPG? Looks like it. Okay, okay. And then Card Hunter. Shuffle your cards and ready your dice. You know what? This kind of reminds me of, like, just from what I'm looking at it, it definitely looks like some board games I've played before in late ages past. So how the heck? So this game is free to play, but they obviously how do they get money from you? How do they rip the money out of your wallet there? There's got to be a way they suck the finances out of you. Interesting, interesting. I'm trying to remember like what board game it reminds me of. Oh, I think it's called like Delve? Was it Delve? I played so many. I used to play so many board games back in the day. Like, there's so many that I liked, but I only played them like once or twice. That's the problem with board games is there's too many good ones. They don't. Everything is free. Like weapon item card free to craft. You can pay for adventures. 2 of them were made by wizards. Wow. Wow, that's pretty dope. That is pretty dope. First ever game for the people. How's it going, Professor Ponicus? Professor Pone, congratulations. Turn posted up a video of you actually winning on his channel. Every time I see you on Turn's channel, I just always automatically assume, oh, you're bringing the fun build, but you're going to lose. But when you know, I saw your video the other day. I can't remember what it was. Was it, oh, I think it was Kolak. I think it was a Daddy Kolak game, and you actually won. Just got here, no idea what you're talking about. Yeah. Oh man, Pone. I was sitting there being like, oh, you know, Pone's gonna lose again. No, you actually won. That was dope. And you won with Papa Kolak, which is, you know, Daddy Kolak is one of the best lords in the game. I swear it does happen. It's kind of like the opposite of Indie Pride. Like instead of having only only wins, you have all losses. Iron Kingdoms is starting another Kickstarter soon. I love the War Machine universe in 5e. Iron Kingdoms. Iron Kingdom. Let's take a look at that. Kolag versus Petone. Yeah, so I just posted your video in chat there. You good times. What is this here? Iron Kingdoms Kickstarter. Into the Deep. I see they had a Kickstarter that ended on March 5th, and these losers only had 2,300 backers pledging $247,000. That's it? That's like ridiculous. Holy shit. that is so much. New to the Kingdoms. Here's the Down Dirty. Is there like a free PDF or something I can click on? I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. I dig the art direction on this. Oh, and it's funny. I've inadvertently used this art many times before. I've inadvertently used the art style, the art picture of like this crocodile dude in this like bar, and there's a bar brawl going on. That's funny. I did not know this thing existed. It's so funny how I'm in the D&D community, and yet there's so much about the D&D community I just don't know. There's so many Kickstarters going on. There's so many YouTubers I don't know. Into the Deep was the last one. When are you going to finally stream the D&D games? That's an excellent question, Ponicus. I don't plan on streaming these, the upcoming West Marches game, because I don't want there to be any spoilers. But I will be streaming some games in the future for sure. It's funny. I've recorded a bunch of games in the past. It's just that I never bothered uploading them to YouTube or anything. But I definitely will be streaming games. The thing is, Pone, is I do in fact have to vet my players, as it were. I can't just have any randos showing up, because one bad rando could ruin a whole stream with saying or doing something not pleasant, right? But I do plan on streaming games for sure. All right, so Pone, new idea here. Next D&D campaign, the overarching political intrigue and individual battles are done through D&D, but then warfare is done through good old-fashioned Total War. And instead of it being like, it'll be like custom games, so it'll be like, oh, you've got this many units, and we can finagle with that. There you go. All it takes is one invented rando to scream a game word. Yep, unfortunately. Hey, if you don't want to be cool and popular like Critical Role, that's fine. So funny, Critical Role is of course the number one top dog. For X number of reasons, they have a slew of reasons why they're the number one. But there is another D&D YouTuber group that has been killing it lately. Let me find out for you right this millisecond, because they have been on a spree. Like their channel blew up semi-recent, like in the past year. As I go and search for them, because once again, too many things going on in my life. I can't recall every little thing here. Oh my god, I pull up the reason why they're blown up so much is because they have a lot of shorts floating around that a lot of people love. Oh my god, what is the I for the life of me can't recall. D&D Chuckles the Clown. Here we go. Legends of Evantris. These people, in the span of like this past year, they went from decent like following, and now they're over 1 million subs. And like they get, and you know why? Actually, one of the reasons they blew up is because they put out a Kickstarter called the Crooked Moon, which a lot of people loved. I will go ahead and post that in there. Those people went hard and they succeeded. Overboard, is that the same War Machine from the tabletop war game? The one of the Krix Army and Kador units? I couldn't tell you. I don't watch games. I want to play, not watch. Fair. Fair. The AI celebrity game? I've seen the AI celebrity game. I've never watched it. I don't need to watch the presidents, back talking each other for 4 hours straight. Is this the group with the clown? Yes. LOL, can't hit enter before you say the word. Yeah, so those people hit 1 million subs. Like, that's ridiculous for a Let's Play channel. Because, the majority of people want to watch 5 to 10 minute videos. Most people do not have the patience to watch 3-hour videos. And when these people somehow cracked the code. They figured out how to get 1 million subs and hundreds of thousands of views on adventures is just to be funny. Go figure. The trick to being entertaining is to be funny. Who could have ever guessed? It's bamboozling. Yeah, looking through their shorts are ridiculous. Their shorts get regularly like 5 million plus views. Holy but Jesus. That's a good track record, let me tell you. I've been watching Tales of the Manticore. He's running an old school game, and dude is an amazing storyteller. He posts on YouTube a lot. Let me check that out. AI, Joe Rogan, Trump, Gordon Ramsay, Elon Musk. what a winning combo. What a pair. Tales of the Manticore. Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. Okay. Pulling once again, never to downplay anybody's achievements here. Like, if you literally, this channel, which I'll go ahead and post for here, this channel, no video at all whatsoever. It is all audio. It's just a Let's Play channel. No shorts, no outside anything at all whatsoever. And pulling in, getting viewers should be on paper impossible, but they're doing it. Who is that with the clown? That is Legends of Avantis. But yeah, this Tales of the Manticore, props to them. They are going up against the odds here of posting up, just purely audio Let's Plays. That's pretty dope. Props to them. More D&D groups gaining popularity is good for the hobby, making it less... Okay, so one of my gripes is on the YouTube on the YouTube comment section when I'm trying to read. There is this reaction little button. I'm sure you all can see it. Like, there's a heart, there's a smiley face, there's the 100 emoji, and that thing covers the text, so I can't read like some words that are covered by it, which is super annoying. Making it less around the like 1 or 2 pillars. Yeah, and like that. It's great that the bigger the hobby gets, the bigger the niches get. So like if you want, the 4 hours straight of people going and acting and, going way over the top, then you've got the Critical Roles, right? But then if you want the more nitty-gritty, playing by the hardcore rules, you want the people that are covering different systems, you want the people that are, engaging in old school play versus new school play, whatever niche you have, like, we're finding more and more of those, which is great. And, it's fantastic that, because, once again, going back 30 years ago, this would not be a thing, right? 30 years ago, you wouldn't be able to find this at all whatsoever. So it's great stuff. Acquisitions Incorporated, but from 2010 to 2021 was the best. I didn't watch them in perpetuity. I only ever watched like some of their con games, so I never like watched like their full series. I've got no idea what's going on in the world of the story. But every single time I showed up to like watch a new one, it'd be like, okay, so this guy's apparently like taken over. Oh, this person's super powerful now. Oh, that person's a bad guy. I thought that was a pretty neat way to interact with that world. My most favorite Let's Play of D&D of all time goes to Dice Camera Action. For those of you that don't know, Dice Camera Action was a official Wizards of the Coast good old-fashioned Let's Play. And the purpose behind that was Chris Perkins, one of the lead heads of D&D, ran his group of 4 players through his own revised versions of the adventure modules he's putting out. And that was fantastic because he was making these adventure modules and then he would turn around and then not run them the way they were written. And I'll never forget this. I met Chris Perkins when I went to the Stream of Annihilation. And I talked to him about that. And he told me, make this game your own. Don't do what the book does. And that was so, that. It's so funny coming from the guy who's writing these rules and whatnot. Freaking great, right? And to this day, I stand by what Chris Perkins told me. To this day, you should not run that adventure. You should run your adventure. How do you get your adventure out of that text, right? Make it your own. Friggin' crit. The best part, that group was just so great, too. Chris Perkins was an absolute phenomenal DM. He planned things out in advance, but he was super quick on the fly. All the 4 people just meshed together super well. And then, unfortunately, it all ended because one of the characters got outed. But then, guess what? Turns out the guy who got outed for supposedly being a bad guy turned around and said and showed all the receipts, and he got de-canceled. But unfortunately, the damage was done, and Dice Camera Action no longer lived on. Which is really unfortunate because, gosh darn it, that was such a great series. They went through, I'm trying to remember all the adventure modules they went through. They went through Curse of Strahd, Storm King's Thunder, Tomb of Annihilation, what? And then, I think they were on the finale of they were wrapping up Waterdeep, and then they were going to be doing something else. But then the whole shenanigans went down, and that's the end of story. But god dang, that was such a I'm. It's been years, but now I want to listen to the whole series again just to get inspiration from Chris Perkins because he was so great. Holy crap. Such a shame, such a shame. Oh. Yeah. Oh, man. It's 141 episodes, but thankfully they only have 2-hour episodes. They are not 4-hour McGee's. I think 2 hours is a perfect time length for watching a session. Oh man, I might have to sit there and watch them all again. I might have to. Okay, so we talked about the Steam. What anime are people watching? I know for a fact I can smell the weebs here. I can smell them out. I know for a fact there's a weeb or two floating around here. What anime are you all watching this season? We've got a new season upon us. It's coming. And my God, is there some shows coming out this season that are a bit repugnant, and I know it. We've got things like Living with My Stepsister, and we've got things like Isekai, the Suicide Squad Isekai. I might have to watch that, honestly. So what anime are people watching this season? My Hero, still watching My Hero. I have not caught up on My Hero. I am lagging. I for some reason just got distracted by so many other things, and unfortunately, I am behind on the times. But My Hero is always like a 20 some odd episode season, so there's plenty of time to catch up before it ends. It only started last season, so I'm sure it's still going strong. You haven't watched anime since Inuyasha. Wow. I'm telling you, AD&D, there is even for us old people, air quote old people. If you're above the age of 16, you're apparently old these days. But let me tell you, there's some good adult anime these days, and that is honestly the best thing about anime. Getting bigger and bigger is eventually some big boy anime show up that you can watch and not feel like you're you can watch with pride. Like, I'm wondering if there's any adult anime this season. Let's take a look here. There is, in fact, well, I'm sure the Suicide Squad Isekai is probably more adult, but there is. I want to say there was like one that stood out to me. That was like definitely like, whoa. Oh, here's one. There's an isekai about a dude who's trying to kill himself. Like, I think that's definitely a bit more on the adult side there. What else is there? Or maybe there's not that many this season, but some seasons are more plentiful than others. Some seasons are. LOL sounds interesting. There's always something there. Much like how the D&D world is getting larger and larger to fulfill all these niches. What's it called? Let me take a look here. I passed by it. It's got let's take a look. Let's take a look. No longer allowed in another world. Let me go ahead and post that for you. Oh. Oh. Ah. What? Thanks for checking it out. I got a split. It's been fun. Everyone, see y'all. See ya, AD&D. See ya. Okay. So what's up? Love a lot of your walkthrough vids, Spencer. I am so pleased that you're pleased by them. Thank you so very much. Just got to work. Gonna be another slow, long night. It's better than the alternative of being. I'm trying to think. Because I've worked my fair share of different jobs that involved either day and or night, and I personally, like, for a while I did a night shift, and it was a slow one, but it was nice because like it felt really fun being like getting off of my job and either depending on like which job it was either I go to sleep right after the job or I wake up right before my job depending on the different job it was. But having the daytime to do like to be free is very interesting. Like I enjoyed it quite a bit. So Spencer, what adventure modules you been running? I've been in a few West Marches campaigns and relish the idea of running in one myself. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Join that Discord. All that information's for you there. I'm going to be running that. I'm going to be running that pretty soon. For those of you who haven't joined the Discord, join up. It's going to be a fun time. I love my night shifts. I'm a night owl or a camp or a vampire. I pro DM 2 games and week and play in one. Wow. I have pro DM'd and I haven't done it in a while, but I probably should hop back on that pro DMing train. It's definitely a good little side hustle, good side gig. I should definitely get back to that. Well, I'll be on the Witchlight and just started Vecna. Tiamat most likely last session on Saturday. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Zero. I'm having to do like some verification stuff going on here. Um. Okay. I'm getting some spicy things going on the side here. Some spicy job offers I might have to partake in here. I bought the Vecna book mostly for grabbing content. I probably never run it as a campaign. It What I will say is when it comes to the more recent 5e adventure modules that are all railroady or not even railroady, they're roller coastery. Your players will go from point A to point B. They will talk to NPC A. NPC A will direct them to here. Like there's some good in them, but I just don't feel inspired to run an adventure where I know everything is going to, like, I know exactly what's going to happen. I know where my players have to go. I know what my players have to do in a specific order, which is why I'm more defaulting to more sandbox and kind of railroady adventures where I can kind of direct the narrative and but allow my players to approach however the frick they want to. The guy I play with on Saturday also YouTubes. I've been trying to talk him into West Marches. Heck yeah. What's their YouTube channel? Maybe I know them. I've interacted with my fair share of D&D YouTubers in some capacity or other. Ugh, goodness gracious. Um. Hmm. Okay. So, as a I'm trying to remember. I'm running I'm running them all on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and that's all I know for my schedule at this current moment in time. But I've got another thing. Oh, I've got so many freaking tabs open. I can't find my way through them all on this one monitor. Curses me. Curses. But yeah, I'm really excited to get this thing kicked off and have however many people are showing up. Like I think I kind of took a quick little breeze through, and I'm going to be getting a decent amount of people rotating in and out of sessions, and that's what I want. I want a variety of people playing with a variety of other people, and building out this world, or not building out this world because the world's already built, but they can build on top of the world should they desire. I'm really looking forward to all that fun jazz. Um, okay, so there is there was something else I was going to be doing today. I can't remember what it was. I need to have like a schedule. Are your games filled out? Not as in like full. They're filled out as in they are. You can see what schedules they are and sign up for them. And the important thing to consider too is I imagine what's going to happen every once in a while is people are going to sign up for a game. Sorry, just joined. It's all good. What I imagine is going to happen is I'm looking forward to playing someday myself. I will be running more games. Probs talk. TGF. Nah. Never. Never. But what'll be interesting to see is oh no, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, sometimes what's gonna end up happening is people are gonna sign up for the session and then last minute they're gonna not show up because it's just what players do. Oh, that's what I got. I got to write up the intro to the freaking thing. I got to write up the intro to the campaign, so that people can get in the mindset of like what the heck's going on and figure out what they're gonna do for the campaign. Where the frick is that? Did I write it here? No. See here. No. I know for a fact I wrote down what I needed to write down, but I can't find I can't find what I needed to write down there. Gosh darn it. Oh, where is it? Had to step away right when you asked the anime question. Decadence is outstanding, is not only good, but the creator is definitely said, I want more anime in my anime. Decadence. Did I... What the heck is Decadence? I feel like I've heard that Decadence. Decadence came out in 2020. This is Godal to humanity. Oh, you know what? I watched, I think, like 1 or 2 episodes of this, but I think there was like things going on in my life, and I couldn't end up finishing it, and I totally forgot about it. Wow. Thanks for reminding me. I'll put that on the list. That is funny. Okay, but I had a list of what I needed to write down, but now I've lost that list. That's super annoying. I feel like I should have that in my periphery of some repute. Did I glad to help. Thank you. Thank you. Hmm. Was it not here? Oh, I found it. Okay. Yeah, I finally found the list of the lists that I need. Perfect, perfect. Okay. So I'll be working on that this weekend, and then on Monday, I will be good to go. You need to watch Buso Rankin. Buso Rankin. What the frick is Buso Rankin? Oh, that's the one I found for you. that's the one I was like. That's what I think. I spent like 30 minutes trying to find that damn anime for you. For those of you, the other day, Professor Pone here thought to himself, "Hey, I remember this anime I watched like 20 years ago, or like 15 years ago, or whatever." And and then I was like, "Oh, great! Now I need to find it." And I spent legitimately like 30 minutes combing all of anime's archive to find this anime. And wouldn't you freaking know it? Like, I was giving up hope. It was like near the 30-minute mark, and I was like, all right, okay, like if I can't find it, like, you know, he's obviously pulling this anime out of his ass or something. I don't know. But then I literally, like, I remember I just had the thought of like, okay, this is the last one, and then I stumbled across this anime, and I was like, this is it. This is the one. And then he was like, oh my, I do need to watch this. For how much effort I put into finding this anime, I do need to watch it. For the blood, sweat, and tears poured into this, I deserve to watch it. What was it? You were obsessed with like the idea of like the cowboy, right? Like I think that's what it was. You were obsessed with the cowboy character, and I was like, cowboy, what? It was something along those lines, but oh my god. Yeah, Booster Rankin's on my list. It's definitely on my list, and I'm definitely gonna watch it at some point here. Captain Bravo. And it was in 2006, 2007 or something. You must have watched that in English too, right? Like, I don't know how many people watched anime in Japanese in the early 2000s area. Like, I'm thinking back. I don't even know how I could have watched anime outside of like Toonami. I genuinely can't even recall how people consumed anime in the early 2000s. Mind you, my experience is vastly different because I didn't have a computer. Like my family did not have a computer, so that was definitely is definitely a bit different. Yeah, I think it was on Cartoon Network at some point. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Alongside Digimon, Digital Monsters. Oh, goodness gracious. Um. Okay, so I've got my list ready to go. Digimon was on the Saturday morning cartoons, not Cartoon Network. Saturday morning cartoons? I don't even know what channel that would be. Like TV, TV is such an enigma. Like I legit don't remember how TV worked. it's I try to remember because like here's my memory of TV. G4 TV, I'd watch X Play and Attack of the Show. I'd watch Cartoon Network and Adult Swim, and I like that's like all I can think of. I don't remember. Oh, you know what? There was another. I can't remember the exact channel. There was the WB, and that had some morning cartoons as well. Like it had what was the what was the cartoon about? Like the people. I think it was WB, whatever channel that was. Yeah, that channel had Oh my god, what was the thing about the four kids and they're martial artists and they're constantly fighting like another faction for like these mystical artifacts? Shaolin Showdown. It had Shaolin Showdown. I remember that show. Shaolin Showdown and Jackie Chan Adventures. I remember watching that as a kid. Oh my god, Shaolin Showdown. What a time. Shaolin Showdown. Golly, that is a blast from the past right there. Mamma mia. Jackie Chan was dope. I remember Jackie Chan like he's chasing after the talismans and then like the big fat guy became their friend eventually, but he was like the enemy for the whole time. I have a 1.5-year-old, and I can't wait for him to be baffled that I had to watch a show at a specific time of the day once a week, and if you missed it once, you never got to see that episode. My bones will start to turn to dust. Dude, that was the worst, right? Like, you had to show up at a specific time, at a specific place. You know, you're eating, if you got to go to the bathroom, you got to run. Your mom calls you for something. You're like, nah, like, scrambling around. Oh my god. Uncle! And he'd go, hiya! Hiya! Oh my god. What a relic of the past, TV, huh? If you had told me, if you had told 5-year-old me that you could pause TV, like that wasn't on a VHS, mind you, I'd be like, no way. You can't pause live TV. That's impossible. What a time. What a time. We live in a weird technological boom, let me tell you. It's a weird one. It's a good one, but it's a weird one, that's for sure. You couldn't tell 5-year-old me that we'd have driving cars and just in robots that draw and write for you and pausing TV. One of the crazy things I'm seeing now is like the medical machines that are doing surgeries. Like a bunch of those things are just AI little robot things, and like those things are killing it. And they're not killing the patient, mind you, but if you have a robot with multiple arms and they can do precision, like you tell them exactly you want to cut 1 inch here or quarter of a centimeter there, and they can do that so flawlessly without any sort of like issue. Like that's awesome. That's freaking great. Hmm hmm hmm. Hmm hmm hmm. Okay. Looking at some other things I've got to work on in the pipelines here. I know I'm gonna have to pump out a bunch of content when D&D next edition comes out. D&D not point 5 edition. Because they want to still cash in on 5e success but not move away from it, but I'll still make money from it. It comes out pretty soon. Arrives in September. I am genuinely curious when it comes to the new edition. Like I wonder how much of a turnover from the old 5e guard are going to move to that edition. I'm wondering how many people are willing to spend that investment money. What's your feelings on that overall so far? I think it's better or worse. It's different. I have not gotten those new rules to the table yet, so I haven't felt them out myself. But the power scales have shifted. And one thing that's really disconcerting is there was recently a preview of showing more of the finalized rulings. And one of the person who was writing the fluff piece for it from D&D Beyond, so they're not like a Wizard of the Coast like official employee, but they're like they work with Wizard of the Coast. Some of the verbiage they stated in that video was, or in their article covering the new stuff, is that a lot of the features are meant to frustrate your DM, and they said that unironically. Like I think they said it specifically funnily, but not unironically. And for example, of that being is the Rogue. The Rogue got a ton of new features, which allows them to disrupt enemies. So it's no longer just the sneak attack. What it is you get like a poison effect, and that poison effect lets you do a bunch of things. That poison effect lets you disarm the enemy. It lets you stun them. It lets you get like extra attacks off on them. It lets you do a bunch of things. And just like looking at that one case alone, I'm wondering what else is going to be going on, which allows for the PCs to absolutely dumpster enemies. And when it comes to the power scale of 5e, 5e is already like powerful if you run a purely vanilla rules as written. Like 5e characters are already ridiculously strong, and now they're definitely getting stronger. I personally don't like that because I want players to feel challenged. And if you run things purely by the book, rules as written, I suspect that it's going to become less and less of a challenge. Now, obviously, you can sit there and homebrew the rules yourself. You can amp up the difficulty over what it's intended to be. You can make a bunch of adjustments. But one thing that you typically can't do is rip away features from players' character sheets. It's typically the case in my experience, and I know a lot of DMs' experiences, that if a player character sheet tells you you can do X, but then you as a DM don't like that, and you say, oh, hey, we're scrapping that, you can no longer do X, a lot of players do get upsetty spaghetti with that. And if you add a whole bunch of features onto these new character sheets, I am scared that it's going to create more of that. And if you want to run the game a certain kind of way, like you want to run a game where rogues can't stun people because you want that to be more tied to monks, if you want to run a game where paladins, get whatever features they got, I remember them talking about like paladins' smites are a bit different now as well. I am scared that if the players get too many features, that you can't take them you can't take those away, and it'll force you to run a certain type of game. But D&D, I think, excels when you can run it for a variety of different games, right? Like when you can run it more gritty, you can run it more hardcore, you can run it more sunshine and rainbows, you can run it more high epic pulpy fantasy adventure. I think D&D works better when you can play it up to different ways. But more features you add on the character sheets that make them feel awesome and more importantly shut down monsters, I feel like you're more stuck in running the game like in a certain single type of way. Don't know the full details yet. Haven't seen the absolute revised rules in its entirety. But I do know that when the D&D Beyond writer said, wrote down, oh, look at all these cool features to shut down your DM. Like, I know that they are truly meaning that. And I know that, that's perfectly fine for a bunch of players. But I don't know how many DMs want to be told, oh, yeah, you're getting shut down. Oh, PCs are uber powerful now. Like, I don't know how many DMs want that. I personally, I've already hashed out a bunch of homebrew rules that I will be tacking on to the new D&D. So I'm already covered on my own boat. and I will be making videos about those for sure. But you know, I think like the average DM and the average players don't deviate too far from what is written. And especially if you are a newer DM running for newer players, you typically stay as close to as written as possible, and that's going to form the basis of what the game is. I'm trying to find that article because it was an interesting little snippet. Also, another aspect too is that they keep on touting that it will be backwards compatible, but the 2024 rules with the 2014 rules, but there's no way they'll be actually backwards compatible. Like they're two different things. Here we go. I found one of the snippets here. The rogue gets this feature called Daze, which, if they fail a con save, they'll only get to move or take an action or a bonus action on their next turn. Frustrating for dungeon masters, but fantastic for your party. Verbiage like that, right? I plan on just taking a few new cool ideas from 2024 books. Homebrew is still king, baby, and it always will be. There is never going to be a tabletop role-playing game system I will run 100% rules as written and will enjoy. It's just never going to happen. Maybe in the far-flung sci-fi distant universe there is a perfect system, but I think for me that's just never going to happen right now, because one, I'll want different things from the game. And two, I'll run different game systems for that, right? There will always be some nitpicks I have with rules and rulings and balance, and there'll always be something going on with a tabletop role playing game system that just isn't 100% perfect and needs some sort of tweaking. And homebrew is just the way to go. It is absolutely the way to get the game that you want to run. So you're already looking to edit the system you're working on? Listen here, you little shit. Listen here. So I'm working on two different systems. I'm working like they're fulfilling two different niches. One of the systems is basically it's like one of the systems I'm working on is more like a hardcore survival, very, very survival filled game of traveling the world, and like hex crawling is a major component of it in regards of you can only move so far, you can only carry so much, you need to eat, like those things are ingrained in the system and are mandatory. So that one has its own separate appeal. But the other system I'm working on is a Gish system. And for that one, it's working title is Spellblades, and the idea behind that is everyone that is somebody. Oh, and nobody wants to play. Exactly. Like the whole two people that like survival want to play that one. But other than that, but the other one, the Spellblades one, That one is everyone who is someone is a magic user, but also uses Blades of some repute. And in that one, the idea behind that is you decide which one you want to lean in more towards. Do you want to be more? Do you want to focus more on the melee side or on the magic side? But the catch is if you focus too much on one side, you will get trounced by the other. If you go full into the magic side, then the people that go in more in line with the melee side will just run up and beat the bricks out of you. But if you go too much into the melee side, then it is likely that a magic user could, like people that focus more on the magic, can shut you down. And for that system, I'm working in a system of like martial might in regards of, there'll be like strikes, parries, blocks, things of that nature, and the magic that you focus in on, the magic can be for offensive magic, defensive magic, buffs, debuffs, and things of that nature. I think that one's got more appeal than the hardcore one, but we'll see. I would say so. Yeah, I think mass appeal is always going to go toward you know the non-hardcore stuff, which is unfortunate. Is what it is, though. Although one thing I will be refining as well, Prof Pone, is the battle hammer rules, the ones I used for y'all's combat the against the goblins, and you will probably be using up against those ghouls. I definitely want to focus in also on the I want to make that kind of system, but I want to make it for two things. One, I want to make a version of that for just using in everyday mass battles. But I also want to make a version of that that's used for Mordheim kind of play, where you have a small warband and you're digging around like an environment. I think that could be entertaining. Why am I being messaged? What is going on here? Oh, I see. I understand. It's funny. I literally, I'm sitting here talking about different tabletop role playing game systems, and when you know, a whole bunch of things are popping up. I feel like we already are. We are already a small warband digging around the place. You are, you are. But for the instances of the Mordheim style version of that game, it'll be more in line with instead of it being tacked onto D&D, it'll just be its own system of as your individual cronies level up, they get pluses to their stats, or they get new little features here and there, and they can die. Because I love Mordheim. But the problem with I've got several problems with Mordheim. One of which is if you trounce your opponent in skill wise, like you have like a ridiculously high weapon skill compared to them, they have a ridiculously easy chance to hit you, which I feel is just like completely unfair. Like you can have a war like because in war in that system, weapon skill goes from 1 to 10. But you technically can have a 0 weapon skill, but that's just that point. But the average is 3. Like the average weapons, the average stat is 3 across the board. And if you have a weapon skill of like an 8 versus weapon skill 3, I'm actually going to pull this up here. Let me see if I can. Here we go. I'm trying to remember the table for this, but it is not good. Like apparently, like having high stats is like next to irrelevant. Which I find what's the point of having high stats in the first place, right? So my system, like I want to reward people who have high stats. Other than that, though, but other than like a few other small things, I really like Mordheim because like the campaign structure of set like engagements and quest and all that fun jazz. Like there's a lot of good things in there. Weapons and armor, campaign scenario. Okay, I'm about to find it. Shooting to wound. Here we go. I found it. I found the culprit. So, you can have a ridiculously high weapon skill, and as a reminder, the average 3. If you have a weapon skill of 9, like next to the pinnacle of all greatness, and you're going up against a dude that is average or even below average, you still only have only a 3 up to hit them, but they to hit you is still a 5. On a D6, that's just incredibly likely. That's so incredibly likely, and I really don't like that. Like why? Like I'm just like looking at this. Why can't you have like a 2 up? Why? Once you more than double someone, why can't you have a 2 up? I feel like that's fair. Like I'm okay with like having the 5 up, I guess. I just think that I think this is just an issue with using D6s in the first place. Is there's only so much you can do with the delineation of the numbers. Like the to wound chart's different. Like if you have a strength 9 versus a toughness 2, you only need to roll a 2, right? Like that's fair. And in fact, the higher strength you have, you actually confer negative save modifiers to their armor save, which is pretty cool. Now I'm just like looking through Mordheim rules. So, fun fact, yeah, stick to AC with the D20. Yeah, I mean it's tough because like when you look at like classic war games, it's always 2 hit, 2 wound to save, right? Like that's standard procedure. And D&D cut through all of that just by saying, hey, you roll once to hit. If you hit, you automatically wound. Like that's that in the story. And so, but when you have those three delineations of to hit, to wound, and to save, you can have a whole bunch of nuance with that, right? You can have like pluses and minuses to hits. You can have the pluses and minuses to wounds. You can have the plus and minuses to the saves. Like there's a bunch of variants and mechanics here. Like for example, looking at these weapons here, if you apparently punch someone, they get a plus to their save. If you use a sword, then you get a save. You get specifically a parry. When an opponent rolls to hit the model armed with the sword, may roll a d6. If the score is greater than the highest to-hit score, then they parry the blow. Like, that's cool. It's like, it is cool to have that, but at the same time, it does streamline things just to simply have a d20 and just say, oh, I hit you. It streamlines things quite a bit. Monks up. Halberd or Morningstar is difficult to use. What? A model with a Morningstar may not use a second weapon or a buckler in their other hand because it requires all the skill to wield it. He may carry a shield as normal, though. He may carry a shield as normal. Does that mean you can use a shield? I'll have to look at that. It's very interesting wording there. Interesting. Black powder weapons. They only have strength 4, huh? It's interesting that the crossbows, like the bows, are all strength 3. Yeah, all the bows are strength 3, except for the crossbow is strength 4. Throwing stars are the strength of the user, which are typically Skaven, which are typically weak. So they're typically like strength 2. The repeater crossbow is 3. But then black powders are only 4, huh? But they offer a -2 to the save. Oh, that's okay. You know, if they're only strength 4, but they offer a -2 to the armor save, I guess that's a kind of a big deal. And the blunderbuss is only strength 3. Interesting. But you can hit multiple people with a blunderbuss, so it's probably for balance purposes. The Hawkland Long Rifle. Are long rifles seeing any competitive play at all, Prof. Pone? I doubt they are because they probably just cost too much for the Empire. And I bet the Empire wants to do more man-tied things and probably can't spare having too many long shot boys, right? Okay. Hunting arrows. Add +1 to the injury roll? Man, that's a dig move. That is a real dig move. Eye of God. You may use the Eye of God successfully only once per battle. Choose any single model within 6 friend or foe. Roll d6. The Wrath of Gods descends upon the target, and the model is taken out of action immediately. The model gains +1 to any of their characteristics during the battle. The model gains +1 to all of its characteristics for the duration of the battle. Wow. Warp Fire. Spell causes D3 Strength 4 hits on the target and 1 Strength 3 hit on each model within 2 feet. Mamma mia. That's a good spell. Spell summons D3 Giant Rats. That's awesome. All standing models in base contact with the sorcerer must make an immediate leadership test. Strength 3. Run 2d6. Huh. There's some pretty fun spells in there. Some pretty neato spells. Okay. Alrighty, well, I have been rambling about things not related to D&D at all for quite some time. I think that's going to do it for me. This weekend, I will finish up all the prep that is needed for a good old-fashioned West Marches game. That'll be a fun time running for the public. So, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all that fun jazz. And I'll see you next time. See ya! Apparently not. This freaking... my YouTube studio won't let me turn off the stream. What the heck? Come on now. What is going on?